Perdue chickens grow up healthy.
For over 50 years, Perdue has been producing advertisements to convince consumers that this is what their chicken farms look like. The reality is that this multi-billion-dollar company is engaging in criminal animal cruelty and brewing antibiotic-resistant bacteria that could create a public health crisis. Perdue owns a number of other brands and companies, including Petaluma Poultry, a corporation based in Sonoma County that has so much financial power, they've been able to control local law enforcement. About 5 years ago, animal rescuers went to a factory farm that supplies to Petaluma Poultry and tried to rescue chickens who were dying on the floor of this factory farm. And the animal rescuers called the police because they were hoping that the police would come and try to help the animals and address the criminal animal cruelty. And the police did show up, but they decided instead of helping the animals that they were going to protect corporate interest, and they actually tore those chickens out of the arms of animal rescuers, and law enforcement killed all of them, all but one chicken. One chicken was allowed to go past police lines. One chicken was allowed to go to the vet and get care and spend her life at sanctuary, and that chicken was Rose. Rose was brought to me, and she was severely debilitated. She was really sick. The first night that she was with me, she was so scared. I remember I had her in my bedroom in case she needed anything. And when I turned the lights out, she started crying. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I didn't know if she was in pain. I just didn't know why she was so upset. She just wouldn't stop crying. And finally, I wrapped her in a blanket and I brought her up onto my bed. And then she fell asleep. She stopped crying. And I realized she just didn't want to be alone. And from that day forward, she slept in my bed every night. She went with me everywhere. She came with me to the grocery store, to restaurants, even sometimes to school. And about a year after she was rescued, she passed away very suddenly. She had never really fully regained her health. She never regained use of one of her legs. And I've spent the last 4 years grieving Rose, but now it's time to continue exposing Petaluma Poultry for their crimes against animals. You know, after Rose's death, her story inspired a mass movement for animals, a movement for Rose's law, a law that would give animals a Bill of Rights, and the first one of those rights is the right to be rescued. And so if we see somebody who needs help tonight, we might help them, just like we helped Rose all those years ago.
All you ever caused was pain. You can say you're sorry, the evidence is on my body, but I never complain. I wear it as a lesson, curse and blessing. Oh, you're not a prophet. Have you forgotten that you got a lost soul? You're on your knees and you're trying to speak, begging me please, but don't even say what you're gonna say. It's too late to save me. And you watched me burn, burn, burn. You watched me burn, burn, burn. You watched me. I don't even pity your pain. Use it as a weapon, but I won't ever let it pull me back under again. I let you fool me once, but now I'm dead and gone. And you watched me burn, burn, burn. You watched me burn, burn.
She's in really bad shape. She keeps closing her eyes. She seems to be in a lot of pain. When I touch her wing too much, she screams. I feel pretty confident that if we don't take her out right now, she is going to die. We have repeatedly reported criminal animal cruelty at Petaluma Poultry, and law enforcement have repeatedly failed to act. And we know that they aren't going to help her, so we will.
As we were leaving to get Petunia care, we found another chicken who was so weak he couldn't even stand.
We're getting them out of here because all animals in distress deserve to be rescued.
Though you've been broken,
Factory farms and large corporations would call us criminals for taking this little baby out of that factory farm. And it's possible that Petaluma Poultry might even try to put me in jail. But I'm not afraid because I know that helping animals is the right thing to do. And that if someone is dying on the floor of a factory farm and no one else is helping them, I know that I have a moral responsibility to do so.
in the middle of the darkest night, it's true, I will rescue you.
Vincent and Petunia were in critical condition.
There is no
We discovered Vincent had a fever of 107.2 and Petunia had a fever of 108. We rushed them to the hospital, terrified. We were told they would need to be hospitalized overnight. They're going to hospitalize both of them and see if we can get them stable. But one night turned into 5 as they fought for their lives. It was discovered that the joint in Petunia's wing was coming in and out of its socket, likely as a result of an injury. She was also diagnosed with infectious bursal disease. Vincent was diagnosed with heart disease, a hernia, coccidia parasites, a deformity in his spine, infectious bronchitis virus, and septicemia caused by a multi-drug-resistant strain of zoonotic enterococcus bacteria. When we were at the Petaluma Poultry farm on Hunter Lane, we also collected 2 bodies of chickens who had passed away and 2 fecal samples for testing.
We have found a dead chicken on the floor of this facility. She clearly did not get veterinary care in a timely manner, and we know that that is happening to so many birds inside of this facility. There are dead bodies and sick chickens everywhere. And we are going to take her body out and bring her body to a laboratory for testing so that we can see what sort of illnesses and health issues are spreading in this facility so that we can report it to authorities and hopefully get something done about the criminal animal cruelty that is happening here.
Both fecal tests came back positive for coccidia parasites. The first necropsy found cause of death to be heart disease. The second necropsy found more coccidia parasites, as well as Merrick's disease and Clostridium perfringens, a zoonotic pathogen that can cause necrotic enteritis in humans and other animals, and is a common cause of food poisoning. The public health risk being posed by Petaluma Poultry doesn't end there. Their slaughterhouse has also faced criticism for their high rates of Salmonella and Campylobacter, 2 more bacteria that cause illness in humans. When we accessed their slaughterhouse, we also discovered that on some of their shipments, nearly 10% of birds are condemned for septicemia or toxemia. The bacteria and viruses spreading at Petaluma Poultry are not only causing suffering and death to chickens, they could be making people sick across the country, and they could cause the next pandemic. We have reported our findings to law enforcement, but after more than 5 years of reporting this company's crimes, we have little hope they will act. Meanwhile, after over $5,000 in vet bills, Vincent and Petunia are on the road to recovery. Because of his heart disease, Vincent's long-term prognosis is grim. He may live a few more months or just a few more weeks, but we are determined to make his life, no matter how long or short, as wonderful as we can. Petunia's wing still causes her balance issues at times, but she is strong-willed and doesn't let it stop her. Our fight against Perdue's Petaluma Poultry will not end here. Vincent and Petunia are safe, but so many others are not. We will continue to take action, continue to raise the alarm about the public health risk posed by this company, and continue to demand justice for Rose, for Vincent, for Petunia, and for all of the chickens who have not been lucky enough to be rescued.